In an age of stone and shadow, there lived a princess who possessed everything but her own freedom. Her life was a series of cold corridors and heavy silk, but her only true sanctuary was the man who walked 3 paces behind her. He was her knight, a man of iron and silence. Sworn to protect a life he was strictly forbidden to touch. To the kingdom, they were a portrait of duty. But behind closed doors, they shared a bond that the laws of men could never authorize. They spoke in a language of opposites to hide their hearts from the spies in the walls. "I hate you, Sir Knight," she would whisper with tears in her eyes. "And I hate you too, my princess," he would reply, his voice thick with a devotion that meant the exact opposite. In a world where a confession of love was a death sentence, these were the only vows they could safely exchange. There were nights when the weight of the crown felt like it would crush her spirit. In those moments, she would lean her forehead against his cold, steel breastplate, listening to the steady thrum of a heart that beat only for her. "I am so tired of being a symbol," she would admit. He would never let his guard down, but his gloved hand would briefly tighten near hers. "Sleep now," he would murmur. "I have the watch. No one will hurt you while I still breathe." But fate is often cruel to those who love in the shadows. A great war swept through the valley, and the castle that felt like a prison soon became a fortress under siege. The knight fought with the fury of 1,000 men, not for the gold of the throne, but for the girl watching from the high tower. He stood at the gates until the sun turned red, holding back the tide of enemies until his strength finally failed. As she knelt beside him on the blood-stained earth, the world around them seemed to fall silent. He looked up at her, his eyes clear and peaceful for the first time. "Don't weep," he whispered, reaching out to touch her face with a trembling hand. "We were simply born in a time that didn't have room for us. Where will I go?" She sobbed, clutching his hand to her heart. "Where will I find you?" He smiled, a final, beautiful spark of life. "In another life," he promised, "in a place where there are no crowns to divide us." Centuries have since washed over those ruins. The names of the kings are forgotten, and the castles are now nothing but ivy and dust. But it is said that even today, 2 strangers will sometimes lock eyes in a crowded street or a quiet library. They feel a sudden, unexplainable ache in their chests, a recognition that spans 1,000 years. They don't know why their hearts are racing, but they smile, finally understanding that the long watch is over, and the promise has been kept.